Looking for some ideas for your next game? Check out these epic encounters. Today we have two new products from Steamforged Games. These are the two brand new Epic Encounter box sets. This is the Hive of the Ghoulkin, and this is the Barrow of the Corpse Crawler. Now, I haven't opened these up yet, but I am super pumped about these simply because Steamforged Games makes these really cool self-contained boxed sets for your next adventure tabletop game. These are officially the official 5e compliant from Steamforged Games. So if you're running Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, you can pick up one of these boxes or both and just jump right in. And it's got some really cool stuff in here, which I'm excited to show off. First off, we are going to start with Hive of the Ghoulkin. This is kind of the first part of the adventure. What's cool about these adventures, by the way, is you can run either or both or neither if you just want to use the miniatures. We'll get into all that here in a second. But these are self-contained, so this, I believe, has 15 miniatures. It's got a double-sided game mat in there, an adventure book, and monster stats, and pretty much what you need to run the thing in whatever campaign, whatever game you're running. It's got a book full of adventure hooks and tips on how to run everything. So, popping this open. Here we have just a little advertisement. We're used to that. Here's the playmat, which is really just, it's a double-sided like poster, basically, which has squares on it, as you can kind of see on your screen. This is one side, perfect for your adventure games. It's ready to go right out of the box. Other side, same deal. It's got the squares on there for you for your tactical movement or just to help your players visualize what a 10 feet square cube looks like. These are 5 foot, so it would be bigger than that, obviously, if you're doing 10 foot squares. You know what I'm saying. You got to know where you're throwing your fireball, man. Moving on, we've got the adventure book. If you've never seen one of these adventure books from Epic Encounters, it's very straightforward. It's got a adventure overview in there for you, hooks so that you can jump into. You can hook this into any of your games. It's got a layout for the crypt and the Bloodsire's laboratory, and then it's got all of the different ghoul stats. Recommended. You can use them for whatever. What's neat about these Epic Encounters is they also have this nice little tiers of play thing. So if you're doing 1 to 4 level, 5 to 10, or 10 and up, it's got recommended difficulty checks and damage levels and things like that while you're playing. So we're not going to go through the whole book, but I do want to show off. There's a bunch of hooks for you to use and drop into any game. It's got a quick location layout guide if you need to use that or any things like that. More location stuff. And then here's an example of the stats for the monsters. And again, it's got recommended things, and then you can bump them up or down depending on your player's level. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. And now we get to the miniatures. I'm very excited about these because, again, that's one of the great parts about these Epic Encounters. I don't know about you, but I don't have a whole lot of ghoul miniatures to choose from. They're just, you typically have to buy them or get lucky with like rando packs if you're buying like the Wizards or whatever version. But what's great about all of these is you know exactly what you're getting. So it looks like we've got 8 ghouls here. We've got 2 big old abomination things. I'm not sure what those are called. There's some cool crypt stalker looking things. And then a big, massive abomination guy as well. And then some little carrion crawler riding ghouls. So very cool stuff. I'm going to take a couple of these out. We will probably get a closer shot here in a second. But let me pull one of each of these out so we can kind of go through them. So here's a better shot of some of the miniatures here. These 2 guys up here, those are your Ghoulkin Reavers, just your kind of basic ghouls. We've got the Ghoulkin Hive Warden on the Corpse Chewer, which is really cool looking. He's on a Corpse Chewer. It's like a miniature corpse crawler, which we'll see a much larger one here in a moment. We've got the Ghoulkin Bulwark, which is this guy right here. He's got a neat like wing thing going on and like just creepy arm. One big beefy arm and one winged arm. I've not seen any content V's on him though, but it's pretty cool. And then we've also got the Ghoulkin Stalker, which are those dog-looking things. Dog dragon ghouls? I don't know. But they're creepy. And then finally, we have the really cool looking Ghoulkin Broodsire, which is kind of like the mini boss, final boss of this encounter, whatever you want to call him. All of these miniatures have a ton of detail. I do want to show off their bases because they do have some really cool stuff going on. I don't know if you can make it out too well, but all these monsters have stuff going on with the bases. It kind of fits in with the theme of the adventure map too. This kind of like corpse plate stuff everywhere. It's just creepy and ghouly, very appropriate here. You can also see kind of their base sizes as well. So these would be, I believe, medium-sized creatures, or no, these would be mediums. These would be larges. So they're going to take up 2 5x5 squares. So well, 4 total, but two squares, whatever. But very cool looking miniatures. Man, these would be really fun to paint up as well. Alternatively, if you just want to bust them out of the box and start playing with them immediately, you can do that too. They're very highly detailed and ready to rock and roll. Very evocative when you bust them out on the table as well. So good stuff all around. Hang out till later. We will have 360s of all these miniatures too. So we'll be back with more. Now, let's check out the Borrow of the Corpse Grinder. All right, now it's time for the Borrow of the Corpse Crawler. This is kind of the capstone of the adventure if you wanted to run them as one contiguous kind of adventure path. You could split them up. This could be an end boss for a different adventure or whatever. This also comes with some hooks, adventure hooks to add to your game. And you can kind of see there on the back what it would look like if you wanted to pre-paint it. It is a gargantuan size miniature too. So very cool stuff all around. And much like the previous box, it's going to have a big miniature in here. And it's going to have some, like the adventure path and everything like that. Adventure booklet. So super easy to clean up, by the way, when you're repacking everything. It's just really well done. So another play mat, as you can see. So bust this out real quick and fold it. This one's a little harder to see maybe, but it's rotate it around. It looks like another layer. You've got squares on it as well. Very dark. It looks very open as well, so you know there's going to be something big fighting in there. And then the other side, a little bit more, a little bit better lighting from a view there. I know it's a little washed out on the camera too, but you get the idea. It's a nice battle mat to play on. If you don't have a mat that you use frequently, those are great for it. There's the booklet, and kind of similarly to the other adventure, you're going to get more of the same here. You've got lore and your adventure hooks, the lair, the combat dashboard, all that stuff. It's got different grades for the corpse crawler if you want to do a larva, a pupa, or a mago. I think I'm saying that one right. It's also got your tips for Tears of Play again. So again, just like the other book, you get the idea. It's got the encounters, corpse crawler attack types. Again, just guides on how to run this adventure or run this baddie. And then a little preview of what it's going to look like there on your screen. But more to the point, these are just suggestions, but they're really handy to have around for quick reference for your for Dungeon Masters. Recommended. It's got your recommended challenge rating and all that other stuff too. All the different actions from your basic attack to multi-attacks to acid spits, all that fun stuff. And then you also get these little punch outs. If you didn't get the Hive of the Ghoulkin, you can use these little standees, little tokens on the battle mat too. There's another, 12 to run around with. So again, it is standalone. And now we get to the miniature. Can I call this a miniature? I don't know. It's pretty big. Is it tape? It is taped on here. So let me slice this real quick. Another thing I like about these epic encounters is when it is time to pack them up and put them away, it's a very easy storage for you. I mean, look at this thing. Look how big that is, just relative to, it's a gargantuan, was it 3x3 base if you put it on a battle mat. So very cool. I don't have a giant worm miniature, so I could use this as a corpse crawler. I could use this as a purple worm. If I was running a Tremors game, this could be a graboid. Whatever you wanted to use this for, it's up to you. It's a very cool looking miniature. I love the texture and the detail of this bad boy. That is creepy and gross and impressive all at the same time. The beak on it, the little Triforce beak, is just gnarly. Watch out for those mandibles, folks. This is a cool looking miniature. I'm going to set it down here. And again, hang around to the end. We'll do 360s of all the miniatures we're showing off, especially this bad boy. Well, folks, if you've made it this far, then you've probably been waiting for those 360s of the miniatures, so check these out. These epic encounters from Steamforged Games are great tools to have if you are a dungeon master of any RPG with in this setting. They are 5th edition compatible, but again, they work. They're just miniatures, and they have a bunch of really cool generic hooks that work for any adventure wherever you're at in your campaign levels, from super low level to super high level. They're great products to go check out. If you liked our unboxing, be sure to check out our other D&D playlists. I'm Adam here from Bowles. Thanks for watching.